Hey, this is Matt once again. We're back to another video, and this is a paid request for Kevin. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, topics, reactions, commentaries, reviews, re-reviews, comparisons like this, whatever the case may be, PayPal is usually the best bet. I do have a Patreon and a CashApp. Feel free. Links are down below in the info box. I'll get to them as soon as I can. And Kevin wanted me to do a comparison of Halloween 4, 5, and 6. And let's get into it. The short answer, 4 to me is easily the best, and 5 is easily the worst, and 6 I think is crap, just not as crap as the 5th one. When I compare these three films, I looked at the direction of the film. I think the 4th film, I like how it's directed better. The same guy would go on to direct Rapid Fire with Brandon Lee, Murder at 1600 with Wesley Snipes. Dwight H. Little has done a couple of films I do enjoy, and the way he made the film look where it had that fall feel from the very beginning, and how he didn't try to go to snap MTV style editing like Joe Chappelle from the Non-Chappelle Show. Oh no, I know, he's not. But did was part 6, and then the stupid choices Dominique Dothan and Gerard made in part 5. I don't think there was a whole lot of that in part 4. So I would give 1 point to the direction to part 4. And yeah, I mean, it is, you could say it's a pumped up version of the first film. But that wasn't bad, considering it had been quite a bit since Michael Myers had appeared on screen, since 1981? Halloween 2. So it'd been quite a while. And by this point, you had seen like 3 Nightmare on Elm Street films and 6 or so Friday the 13th films, and I was like, man, we've only had like, well, technically 3, but with Michael Myers, only 2 movies. So it's weird to say Halloween 4 felt more fresh, but felt like it had more renewed energy. And the characters. Daniel Harris and Elliot Cornell worked very well in part 4. Yeah, there was Daniel's character was adopted, but there's still this strong sister bond between Elliot Cornell and Daniel Harris. I think they worked very well together. I thought they worked well on their own. Daniel Harris was a very capable, solid child actress, whether in that movie or The Last Boy Scout. I think it was Marked for Death was the Seagal film she was in, I believe. Again, very good child actress. And Elliot Cornell, strong, capable, smart, leading lady of a character that was able to hold her own. She wasn't phoning it in. She was a character that could stand on her own 2 feet and do smart decisions and deal with Michael, whether it be the great set piece and the roof foot chase, where they both get on top of the rooftop and she's trying to get Jamie, Daniel Harris's character, to safety, and Michael is coming after her, or bashing Michael with the truck multiple times. And that was really cool to see. Likeable, strong characters from both Danielle and Ellie Cornell. And then Donald Pleasance, that I thought he had the most to do of all 3 of those movies, 4, 5, and 6. Because it's him dealing with his burn marks and him trying to appeal to these people. You say he's doing the same that he's doing in Halloween 1, but the way he's trying to talk to the little girl, and even a little bit of action where he's diving from explosions like the gas station and firing his gun. Michael! And even little moments like him riding along with that guy in the truck who's talking about evil. You're searching for him, aren't you? And how, in a weird way, Donald has found someone that he could, in a weird way, relate to, or however you want to put it. The death scenes I thought were the most creative in part 4, with some decent gore. You have a thumb in the forehead. You have someone impaled with a shotgun. You have someone getting their throat ripped open. I mean, in part 5, the death scenes I thought were pretty lame. Or at least you didn't get to see much gore. I would say you saw more gore in part 4. I mean, part 5, what? Someone gets hung. I guess someone gets a pitchfork, but you barely get to see anything. Someone gets, like, farm implements, tools. But a lot of them, they're cut away very quick compared to part 4. And part 6, I mean, I would say even part 6, I like the death scenes more. It has one of the best death scenes in the franchise. That prick father, stepfather, whoever the hell he was, getting electrocuted and blowing up. I would say that's the goriest bit in all the Halloween films. And to be honest, the best part of that movie. Because that character played a massive prick and he got what he deserved. So that's one thing I like about it. So I would say I like the death scenes in part 4 more. I definitely like the characters more in part 4. I like the look and direction of the film part 4 more. The mask of Michael Myers. I'll be fair. Sorry about that. I'll give that to part 6. Because part 4, I don't know if it's like the cheats are more smoother. It's okay. But then you have weird stuff, like the one scene where he's got blonde hair. And I know there's explanations for it, but it's such a weird thing that nobody noticed that. And it's one of those things like, what the hell? Part 5 looks like Nicolas Cage. Well, if you looked at the mask in Halloween 5, he looks like Nick Cage. And it's just distracting. It's to be one of the ugliest masks is in part 5. In part 6, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. I thought... I mean, the guy playing Michael, you tell him he put on some weight. George Wilbur. He needed to cut down on the cheeseburgers, but the mask was pretty good. So I'll give the mask to part 6. The ending I thought was much more interesting in part 4. Because you felt like Michael was dead. Oh my god, things are happening over again with this girl who we've grown to like. At least to me, I've grown to cheer for. You see Ellie Cornell and Donald Pleasance's performance sells it. Where he's like trying to shoot her and someone grabs it. He's like, no, no. And like the way he's crying and crumbling down like it's happening over again. And like, ooh. I mean, that's a way to end, I mean, that'd be a hell of a way to end your franchise of Michael Myers. He gets killed, but his evil goes on. The circle. See, that's how you do it. Halloween ends. Not bring someone out of the blue and then after 15 minutes, yeah, he's a killer. He wants to fuck Michael in the ass. I think it's the most effective. Like the ending of part 5 is what? Some guy in Men in Black has a machine gun, kills a bunch of cops, while Michael Myers sits in the jail cell with his mask still on. And in part 6, like the theatrical, you hear, I guess, Dr. Loomis cry out, so either he got murdered, or he's like, no, he's gone. But he doesn't say that. He's like, ah. So I'm like, did he get murdered off screen? And then it's like dedicated to Donald Pleasance. I'm like, fuck you, movie. You don't dedicate the Dr. Loomis to Donald Pleasance, and the scene we just saw is, yeah, he got murdered off screen. Great end to his character. Now, the producer's cut, even that was like, oh, great. He's now has to be Michael's, I don't know, butler, whatever the hell he has to be, his watcher. Was Michael Buffy the Vampire Slayer? He's got to be watching him out. And I guess Michael's, what, the new Man in Black? He's dressed like the Man in Black, and I don't know. I thought that was a really dumb thing, too. If it had led to something really interesting in a part 7, Donald Pleasance was with us, and it really worked out okay, but as is, I thought that was a really lame ending. So I thought the ending in part 4 worked the best. I thought it had the most fun set pieces. And other than stuff like the Michael randomly having blonde hair, because it was a they say it's a mask from the original film, but at the same time, I don't know. But it had less annoying stuff than 5 and 6. Like 5, you had a stuttering kid. You had your lead girl not talk and be a mute. You kill off a likable character like Ellie Cornell. Then you introduce to a bunch of bullshit characters like Tina, who's one of the worst characters in the franchise, right next to Corey. Lame kills because you don't really get to see much of them because they cut away quick because the MPA had a field day with it. A Nick Cage goofy looking mask. Donald Pleasance more unhinged to the point that he looked like he just acted like a dick the whole time to Daniel Harris's character, who seemingly dies because you see Loomis, he's not moving, he was supposed to be dead. And they stop Michael Myers with a net and just beat him with a 2x4, like Hacksaw Jim Duggan. And then the cops come in throughout the film, but they have clown noises and circus music for some reason. And apparently that was the composer's idea. Like, this is how comedy is. Really, dude? Alan Howarth, you worked with John Carpenter, dude. And this is what you think? Hey, these cops are silly. Let me go beep boop beep doo meow. And then the director's a fool for keeping it in. I know people like Halloween 5. I don't teach their own. I asked why. What is it about Halloween 5 that's worth the shit? It's not the kills. It's not the mask. It's not the story. It's not the ending. There's lack of gore. Stupid sound effects. Man in Black for no reason that's never properly explained. At least in that film. The one scene I'll give you is the laundry chute. Well, Danielle is climbing up and Michael's trying to get her. That's a good scene that honestly I wish that scene was in part 4. I don't know where you would fit in part 4, but if that scene was in part 4, that'd be great. But other than that, fuck part 5. It to me is easily the worst of those 3. Part 6, again, I would only say it's better than part 5 because, yes, they try to do more of the story. Granted, I think it's still stupid, but they do try to do more with the story compared to part 5. There's a bit more gore, especially the theatrical cut where the stepdad gets blown up, which I appreciate. That kill alone is better than part 5. The mask I thought looked better. But part 4 I usually like more. I still don't. I know they tried to do something different. I can appreciate that, but I don't like the cold shit with the thorn. Stick the thorn up your ass. And Michael Myers wants to screw his niece and have a baby. And yes, I know, this comes from a guy that likes Jason Goes to Hell. I know. But that I'm fine because it's like The Hidden, and I like The Hidden, and to me this is like a good sequel to The Hidden. That, Halloween 6, I'm like, I don't care about the terror. I don't care about Paul Rudd. In that movie, at least. Him, like, these weird, like, these weird, like, I mean, what the hell is he doing? And then, like, the other cut where he stops Michael with magic stones. What's that? The fist of stone? Hand stone? Fist of stone. Stop him with magic rocks. What's the magic crystals? In a crystal cave? Moon rocks? What you don't use? Next. Next on Donahue. I thought it was just so stupid and just... It was also an insult to the Jamie character. You recast it. I don't blame Daniel Harris for not doing the film. Then it's like, okay, Daniel, you don't be paid nothing for money. You don't paid nothing. Then you come in, Michael screwed you, literally, had a baby with him, and he's your uncle, remember? So the uncle screwed the niece, and sexual entertainment, and then he's going to kill you. And both cuts, either get impaled in a much bloodier fashion, or one of the men in black, the one guy, kills her at the hospital in a much more secret way. Which I guess is a more dignified way, but still, it's like, come on, man. It still felt like a trash way, like you're following this character for 2 movies and that's how you do it. Not even going out into blaze of glory, anything, really. Which maybe that was one of the original scripts, but that's not what was filmed, so. Paul Rudd was miscast as Tommy Doyle. That annoyed the piss out of me. Donald Pleasance, I love Donald Pleasance, but man, you could really see the age upon him. Because yeah, I think, I mean, if Part 5 was 89, when did they film Part 6? 94, so, you know, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, yeah. 5 years. 5 years. That's the thing, I mean, 5 years could be a world of difference, and then sadly he died before the film came out, so he might have had some kind of alien health when filming it. And you could see it, and that's why he's not in the film a whole lot. And it was cool to see him, but just, you know, a sad reminder of this is his last few days making, in my opinion, a piece of shit movie. Which I would rather make a good movie to be the last part of his legacy, not this shitty movie. And that pisses me off too. That's how his legacy ended. Not just for his character, but for him. You couldn't give Dr. Loomis a win? Shoot and destroy Michael Myers until the next time? You couldn't do that, movie? Couldn't do that. Couldn't do that. You say he kind of had him do that in Part 5 until he supposedly died, but then that didn't matter because a guy just shot a bunch of people at a police station, broke them out, jailbreak. Part 5 and 6 I do not like. Of the first 8 movies, those are the two I dislike the most. I liked H2O. I liked the second half of Resurrection. But I do not like 5 and 6 at all. I don't like their storylines. I don't like their plot points. Part 6 has a couple little, some gorier kills, a better mask, some other stuff. But yeah, part 5 is easy. I've complained about part 5 so much. I don't know what more I can say. Even music-wise, I would say I like part 4 more. 5, I just think of part 4's music. And part 6, sometimes it tries to do this guitar thing. I don't know. Sometimes I'm fine with it, sometimes I'm not. I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, it's kind of, like, it's different, but I don't know. Like, sometimes it's okay, and then sometimes it's just obnoxious. It just depends per scene. Whichever scene we're talking about, it depends. My thoughts on it. But yeah, I mean, I don't think I'm alone in thinking part 4 is the best of the three. I know there's a lot of people that love 5 and 6, that adore those. I'm not one of them, but if you love it, fine. To each their own. But the only one of these I liked is part 4. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. And we'll see you guys later. Fuck part 5. And fuck part 6. Later.